Hello friends, this is Cara-Renee with B.Reborn Art and Healing, coming to you with a quick video. Hopefully quick, I always say that. Doesn't necessarily mean it's true. But we're going to use some, oh goodness gracious, everything's falling off. We're going to do a couple of pieces using some recycled stuff. So what I have over here is I bought some punches. Let me show you these punches. They are epic. They are butterfly punches. So we've got a 1 3/4. We've got a 1 inch, and we have a 5/8 of an inch. And so they're those layered kinds of that layered kind of idea. I got them at Tuesday morning. Our Tuesday morning is coming back with more craft stuff again. And so I did one of those just to put on here, I believe, or on one of these pieces. I just prepped these. I'm going to be making my autumn, I believe this is called Autumn Garden kit. And it is going to be the first prize for the 2,000 subscriber giveaway when we get there. So I just had the scrap paper out, so I cut a bunch of those little tabby things that I like to use on my pages. So I'm just going to set that aside. And then I have a little bit of a cluster here I'm going to put somewhere. So what we have here is, this is an envelope. I believe this had something from the subscription box, Your Creative Studio subscription box, and I saved the little envelope. So we're going to make a little tuck there. And then we've got a recycled Kaiser prescription bag that I'm going to use. So this is what it looks like. We're going to cover it up, and we're going to make a little bit of a little folio here. And so I've taken some measurements. So this is 4 3/4 is the base here, and so then this is also 4 3/4. This is also 4 3/4. And then I didn't measure this, but I did cut the pieces to fit that. And yeah, so we're going to put an eyelet here, I believe. But we will. I prepped this a couple of days ago, so hopefully all of my memory will come back to me. I think I'm going to start with the harder or the easier project here first. Usually it's a good idea to do the hard thing first, but that's not what I'm doing. So I do want to mention I had this epic idea of going ahead and taking that envelope, stacked envelope thing that we did on camera that people had asked for, just how do you construct the base of envelopes. And then I thought, I'll do a second video and put the paper on, but it was a disaster, a complete disaster. I did finish it, and it is beautiful. It's going to be fine, but boy, was it a rough process, and I just did not want to put you through that. But we've got all these flips and flaps, and this is part of my problem, is I've got all this overhanging paper, and oh my goodness, it was just something else. But I'm still going to use it in my sister's journal. But I just thought I'd show you that since I've got your rapt attention here. So let me just take this off here. And this is for a tag that's going to go in the pocket. And I did it kind of in that style of using, this is my mixed media paper, and I did that embossing on it that you probably saw. I can't remember what video I did this in. Yeah, I can't remember. But you can check the channel. I'll try to link it if I remember. It's a work night, so I always like to preface everything by saying that, because things can be a little bit rocky. So what we have here is a base envelope, which is, let's see, I think I measured this. This is just under 4 inch, not 4, 3 and 15/16, not 4. That is not correct. So that's 3. So obviously it's going to be the same size there, and it is, let's see, about 5 1/8 inches high. I just pretty much put my paper up to it, and then I just trim it. Like, I just estimate. I don't tend to measure things a lot. So this is going to go again in the Autumn Garden Journal, which is going to be a giveaway. So I think I would like I was debating on whether I wanted to put this on the back and put this on the front and do a cute little cluster on the front here. I'm not sure what I want to do. I think I want to put that on the back. So we're going to go ahead and ink these pieces up, and I will be right back. Okay, so I also did cut the little bits, as you can see here, the size of that flap, because I'm going to leave the flap open. It's just going to kind of stick up behind the tag. So let's go ahead and work on constructing this, and then we can come back to the tag. So I'm going to go ahead and put my paper on the front. And so I'm going to go ahead and apply my glue. I've got my little glue bottle here, just so I can control how much, oh my goodness, it's plugged up. Goodness gracious. How much I get on here. I can get really carried away with the glue. Bring in the big bottle for those bigger areas so that I don't empty my little bottle too quickly. I'm still going light though, because this is only 20-pound paper, which I tend to print some of my digitals when I'm working on a journal and cut them on 20-pound paper, because then I can use them for collaging and things like this, because they're not quite as heavy. I'm going to try to scooch that over before it sets, because this is tricky, because I'm using, well, I guess that glue is that one that I can move it a little bit. So that is just about perfect. Got some little hairy things on there. So that's that. So we're going to go ahead and put the back on, which is just going to go here in similar fashion. I need a new blade for my my cutter, so I've got all those little bits of paper that are left over from cutting on my trimmer. I really am fighting the impulse to buy the Fisker's Precision Cutter, because it would take the place, I think, of my guillotine and my regular cutter, and it would just mean less tools here in the studio, which would be a good thing. So thinking about it. It's $100 though. It's a lot of money. Trying to be a little bit more wise before I make that decision. So we're just going to set that on there. And I like to pick it up right away just so I can see that everything is nice and straight before the glue sets. So that is that. Super simple. So now let's go ahead and put these pieces on. And I was trying to think about whether or not I wanted that one there or I wanted to tie the pink in. I think I want to do the pink in this case. I'm going to use the little glue bottle here. Again, just so I can control that a little bit. I can ink the edges of this in a moment. So I'm just going to line that up, and then I'm going to, again, pick it up, because it was a pretty rough cut. I just kind of cut around it. I didn't even like, look at that. I didn't even trace it. I just did it kind of on the fly while it was just on there. I'm just going to trim that up. There we go. Perfect. Isn't that just lovely? Just from an envelope. This is just from an envelope, from a purchase. I mean, it's not trash because it's a perfectly fine envelope, but it still is something that I didn't purchase. It was just something that came in my box and I'm using it. So let's go ahead and put the back one on as well. I can't wait to show you the tag though. It's going to be epic. We'll talk about it in a sec. Let's see. Get that on, pick it up, make it straight. Don't have to worry about the folds or anything because I'm not going to be closing it. Oh my goodness, that's really off. That is hilarious. Oh my goodness. But so see guys, I mean, it's easily fixable. You don't have to worry. I mean, some things are not fixable, so you do want to kind of be thinking that way, but often if something goes off the rails, you can just fix it on the fly. So that is that. So that is our little pocket. So the pockets on this, oh, that is going to go that way. So this is going to be, so I want this to be a free floating pocket because I want it to be able to, excuse me, I want to be able to see both sides. So let's go ahead and work on the, I think I was going to do this little cluster here. Nope, not on there. I'm trying to remember. What was I thinking? What was I thinking? Yeah, we could totally put that on there. Let's give that a moment to kind of percolate before we decide. So we've got a little bit of a cluster going on there. And I'm going to set that aside. And what I did is I took that same cardstock that I've been talking about. This is just 110-pound paper. I think it's from Michael's, just cream colored scrapbook paper. Really, really great to work with. It's a good weight for tags. So I'm going to go ahead and ink this up. And again, this is my mixed media paper that we embossed on. And I apologize off the cuff, I can't remember what video this was in. I've been doing a lot of creating, and it's sometimes hard to keep track of everything that I've done in the last couple of weeks. So I will look it up for you though, so that you have a reference. Just inking that up. I don't think this edge needs inked, but we'll go ahead and do it anyway. Like so. And yeah, because it's going to go like that, I think, right? Or like that. I think it's supposed to go like that. So we're going to just switch sides, which is not a big deal. So let's go ahead and glue this one down on our base. We can ink the sides of that base in a moment. I'm going to use the bigger glue because, again, I don't want to empty that little glue bottle. That's more for precision work, because it was a bear to fill. I do not wish that on anyone. As I mentioned in the other video, I watched G. Kerr do it. I went back to her channel and looked up that video. I've seen it before, and she made it look so easy, and it was not easy at all. I had glue everywhere, like literally everywhere. So I'm going to turn this so that my flowers are on the outside. Oh my goodness, come on, slide over, Cara-Renee. There we go. There we go. Got any overhang, we can just trim that off really quick. Not to worry. Okay. We're going to go ahead and glue this one right here. Isn't that just beautiful? I just love this paper, you guys. This was so fun to do. So fun. No, I'm not going to get my Fabri-Tac out just because it's going to have to go to the tip, and it's going to take a long time. So I'm just going to use this, a little bit more of the white glue. And this is again that that inexpensive Pseudo Barely Arts. This is what it looks like. Obseed, I think is how you say it. Just got a new bottle today from Amazon, so go ahead and put that on there as well. And I don't mind that some of that cardstock is showing because it kind of gives that kind of a rough edge, which I think is really pretty. So we're going to go ahead and ink that so we can see it. It kind of makes that look more layered, which I think is cool. And do the same with this edge. Like so. So that is our little tag. And I created this little, I have this little cluster all ready to go. So I do need to get my Fabri-Tac because I've got some textile stuff to glue on. So let me just turn this over in my bottle here, and then I'll show you what we're doing here. So I've got a cluster with some pieces of paper, and these are from the kit. So I'm just going to ink these up really quick while that Fabri-Tac is getting ready to be used. So that's that, and then we have the pink. Trying to shorten the videos, or at least some of these processes a little bit for you guys. So I did prep some of this ahead of time just so we can kind of move through it a little bit quicker. And then we've got this sentiment caramel apples. And I honestly do not know where I got these. And the reason why I don't know is because I found them in a bag. Like, they weren't even with my quotes when I was organizing some things in the studio. I found them. I'm like, what the heck? Where did those come from? Okay, so I think I want my cluster to go kind of down here. Kind of more on, well, I guess centered. So let's see what this looks like. I think I wanted it more on here just because that paper is the same. So I'm just going to put a little bit of Fabri-Tac here, just kind of crossing over those lines. And then just, this is just scrap textile fabric from my basket. And then we're going to put this piece on. And you kind of get it off to this corner because, again, that paper is the same kind of tone as that, and I want it to really pop out. So we had this and this, and I want the pink to show because that's going to tie that all in together with the front and the back of the envelope, or the little pouch, whatever you want to call it. And let's just get that up there. I think that was the way I had it. And then our little, oh, does it go this way? Yeah, that way. The writing was upside down. So there we go. These are how I make my clusters, guys. It's kind of the same. Always do it sort of similar. I'm going to move that over a little bit. Center it. That's the beauty of using the Fabri-Tac too, is you have that time to kind of shift things a little bit where you don't have that much liberty with the white glue, even the Barely Arts pseudo glue. So, oh, did I have? I guess I didn't have another piece of lace. I thought I did. That's okay. Just gonna put that on there like that. Easy peasy. So let's make sure that this is going to fit. Should fit just fine. So I'm going to go ahead and cut my corners to make a tag. I'm going to ink this first. I think we'll just put one of those little tabby things on the top of this for a pull. And what I like about using this cream cardstock is that you have a ready-made writing space on the back. Pretty sweet. So let's go ahead and cut our edges, our corners rather. So I'm not going to cut very much off because I really love the look of that. So I'm going to do that little trick, turn it over like so. Just allows you to get an even cut corner on both sides. I keep telling myself I'm going to make a template so I don't have to do that, but I haven't done that yet. There we go. So now we can use one of our little tabby things here. Actually, one of them that matches that. Let's see. Let's look together. Cut a bunch of them out of one of the pieces. I don't want to use that because that's the same as that. This would be really pretty. I think I already settled on it. Okay, so I just fold this in half and evenly so it meets like that. And it's just a punch, and I've been asked where I got it. I cannot find it, but it's an epic way to create a pull. Kind of reminds me of the whale's tail. Not quite the same as a whale's tail. I guess it is very similar, but that. And then we're just going to put that on here on the top. So I'm going to put glue. I think I'm going to use the Fabri-Tac just because I'm going over this rougher, more textured piece here. So I'm just going to use the Fabri-Tac really quick and like so, and then get it going the right direction. I'm just going to put that on there. Just makes a really nifty pull, really super easy, and you can do it with scraps. I did it from a full size sheet of paper because I don't have any scraps yet for this kit because I just started using it, playing with it. So that is our tag. That is going to fit in here. I'm not going to leave it in, but I want to show you how it's going to go in like that. And that's going to kind of stick up right there. Just neat and tidy. So this is really plain though now that I'm looking at it. So I wonder if I had this in mind. I've got some more cluster material over here. I think this was what I was going to use. So let's see if we can get this stuff inked up and get a cluster made as well. Like, yeah, it can be pretty simple, you guys. It doesn't have to be too elaborate. And this is also going to tie in with the tag because it's the same paper. I love how doing these clusters, you create some continuity in your whole piece by pulling in scraps that are already a part of your design or part of your journal, or at least the tones in your journal. So that's that. So I like my clusters to kind of go off to the side. Oh, we've got the little butterfly too. Or do we want to do this butterfly set? Let's see. Let's see what we want to do here. And I have a piece of lace to go under here, I think, like on that little edge. And then we have this. And then I think these butterflies are going to be, maybe not. Maybe we will use those. I think those would be pretty. Let's go ahead and ink them up. Oh, I just lost my... I just tore off the other one because I lost my little antlers. Oh my goodness. Antennas. Goodness gracious, Cara-Renee. I could have been a lot more careful there. And the reason why that tore so easily was because the paper is the mixed media paper, and then it's embossed, so it's weakened. So that's why that happened, just in case you're feeling concerned about that. It would not normally tear that easily. So that is that. Let's get our other butterflies. The other thing is these ones are that really thin 20-pound paper, which is not my preference. I'm going to try to be gentler with this one. Poor butterfly. There we go. Okay, so let's start putting this together. So we've got our little piece of lace first, so I'm just going to put a little Fabri-Tac here. Oh, I'm off camera, you guys, I'm sorry. Fighting a cold. I refuse to get sick again. I feel like I've been unwell for so long. So there we go, some music page. I think this is German. Love it. We've got a piece of this paper. Oh, we need to probably move that up a little bit. Got some of the kit paper. Right there. We are going to lose some of the music, the words themselves, but that's okay. Sometimes things do get sacrificed in this process. And then we've got our mixed media paper. I love using the originals too. This is so beautiful. I could have scanned this again after embossing it. It would have been really cool too. Although you have to be careful with that because there is copyright on the stencils or the embossing folder, so I wouldn't want to infringe on that at all. I would never use them for anything but my own personal work anyway, but I don't want to get into trouble with that. So, okay, I'm going to go ahead and attach my butterfly, layered butterfly here. Oh, that is lovely. Shall we put it center or a little bit up? I think we'll just put it right there and kind of have those wings go up and touch the music paper. And then I'm going to keep with the Fabri-Tac just because I'm gluing onto that rougher paper, the thicker paper. Just place that one. Oh, so we got our little antennas back. At least we have some antennas. That's all right. Doesn't have to be perfect. You know what I say. I'm going to use the little glue because this is such a tiny little butterfly. Control that a little bit better. And it's just going on a flat piece of paper. Oh, come on. Ah. Boy, we're already 25 minutes in and we've only done one piece. Goodness gracious. There we go. Put that on there. Oh, so we've got lots of little antennas now. That worked out okay. So, and then we've got a word. I picked the word cider. Now I'm just trying to decide where I want to put it, if I want to put it. It doesn't really have to have anything on here. And I don't want to take away from the butterflies. Maybe right there. Let's do that. I could just ink it up really quick. And I'm going to use the Fabri-Tac again because I'm going over some thicker, more textured paper. The white glue would probably be okay, but I'm just going to play it safe. Plus, I think I wanted this little piece of fabric under there, or a lace rather. Come on. There we go. I love my layers, you guys, so much. They make me so happy. So there we go. There's our little cluster. So this is the front of the envelope, and this is the back. I kind of wish I'd done that the opposite, but let's go ahead and stick this in here. I think it's nice and dry, and it's just going to slide in there just beautifully. And there is our project number 1. Simple, simple journal card and envelope. So let's move on to this little beauty. So I've got some journal cards and things that I pulled to tuck in the envelopes or in the pockets here, even though I have not yet made any. Oh, I was going to cut the top. That's what I was going to do. So we've got a journal card, and I don't mind if it sticks up, so I'm going to cut the top off of this section. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to glue the gussets shut here. So I'm going to run glue all through here. I'm going to go ahead and use my bigger art glitter glue just to get it done a little bit faster. I'm going to speed through this. Okay, so that should be nice and glued shut. So now what we're going to do is we're going to cut open, well, you know what, then that's going to open that as well. Did not think of that. Well, we're going to just do it. What's the worst that can happen? I'm going to use my cutter though, because I don't want to get that all wonky. I'll use the little one here. Keep it on camera. So I'm just going to cut a little bit off of that edge. Trying to be minimal on it. Like that. See if we're nice and straight. Oh, that didn't work very well. That's okay. We can finish it by hand. Okay. Best laid plans. Things don't always work out the way we think. I haven't had a lot of experience using paper bags either, so this is now open. So our gusset is already glued shut, so that's open here at the top, and it's open here. And so now we need to glue this shut again. So we're just going to run a little bit of glue here just to close that edge that we just cut open here on the flap. So there we go. So we're just going to press that down. Like so, and that's going to fold over like that. We're a little bit crooked here. Let me fix that. That was kind of a rough cut. Okay, so now what's going to happen though, because I forgot about cutting the top off to have openings. Now our paper's not going to be quite the right size. It's going to be a little bit tall, but that's okay. We can just, I'll bump it up, I'll line it up to the bottom, and I'll cut off the excess on the top. Actually, it's where I kind of went awry with my envelope journal, stacked envelope thing. Oh, well, it's not. Huh, I think it might be okay. Maybe I accounted for that. I can't remember. It's been a little bit of time. So I'm going to go ahead and put this one on the front because I love that image. And we're going to go ahead and use this, white glue bottle. Oh, I didn't ink it. Oh my goodness, goodness, goodness. Let's try to do that without getting all covered with ink. This could be interesting. Ah. Remember to ink first, guys, if you want things inked. Otherwise you get sticky. I have to grab a baby wipe here. Clean my hands off. Okay, that's good enough. So let's finish applying our glue. I should have a rule to not create after work, but again, I usually do all of my videos on the weekends, on Saturday and Sunday. I just kick them out, like I just do one after the other over those couple of days, because doing it during the week is just not the best, but I'm not going to be home this weekend, so I want to get some stuff up on the channel. So I'm just pressing that down. So you're just going to have to put up with me. And that edge, does that edge need trimmed? No, well, a little bit. We will deal with that in a moment, but let me wipe my hands off because they are very, very sticky, very inky. There we go. Okay, so let's go ahead and put the back on it, which, let's see what I had here. I think I wanted this one here, and I think it goes this way. Yep. Now, I didn't consider this, so this could be a problem. That print showing. So let me ink it up and see if I can. I didn't think about it. I don't work a lot with paper bags, but hopefully that will be enough. I'm not too concerned if it's not perfect. Again, that's not a concern for me. I know perfection can be a hard thing to let go of, though, so please do you. If that concerns you, you could totally just take a piece of masking tape or something and put it in that area. In fact, let's just go ahead and do that. I think I've got, let's see if I've got some tape right here available. I do. So let's just grab a piece of masking tape. It's kind of yellowed anyway, and just run it over that. And then we will all be happy. Oh, except this is that old tape that's just not going to tear worth of beans. Oh my goodness. I don't think it tears evenly, so let's try that again. Oh, there we go. There we go. I'm just going to tear that off. And I'm just going to run it here. It's not going to cover it completely, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover it. I'm going to cut the excess off. And sticky scissors. Need to clean them. And then I'll go ahead and ink this up and see if that helps to disguise it a little bit more. Just kind of do that. Does that work? Oh, except I don't want getting a bunch of ink on my image there. There we go. So that's a workaround, guys. Okay, so this isn't closed though, so, oh, but it's not going to need to be because it's going to be all folded and it's going to stay like that. So now we can continue. So this is going to go here, and we're not going to see so much of that print, which is going to be epic. Probably should ink this though because that's looking very, very white. We're going to just call that good for now. And let's go ahead and get this piece on. So again, guys, a great way to use your recycled stuff. So this bag from the pharmacy would have just went in the trash if I wasn't a junk journaler or a journal maker, however you want to frame that. It's a great opportunity to use things that would end up being recycled or end up in the landfill. So it's pretty darn cool. I wonder, yeah, I think this has to go this way. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in place and just line that up really well. So that was a great move there to do that with the masking tape. So that is that. And this is all white in here, but we'll have to, you know what? We still have it open. Let's go ahead and ink that up. See if we can get some of that stark white to go away. Probably touching that way too soon, you guys. Why is this both open? Ooh. Ew. Interesting. Interesting. Let's glue this shut too. Boy, that's strange. This bag was very odd. So we've got that. So we've got some extra stuff going on here. So I'm going to run some glue in here and just close that extra piece of paper. I'm not going to cut it off because it is an extra reinforcement for this paper bag. So let's just do that and see how that goes. Okay, is that better? That is better. Looks like a recycled paper bag though. But that is all right. So let's, because again, before we get too far into this process, we can ink this because we have access to it. I don't mind that it's looking layered there because I think it actually adds to the look. And the front side is a little bit flimsy because it's only one layer of the paper bag. I'm having trouble holding it. Goodness, this is this is tricky. Again, I don't work with paper bags, so this may or may not be a good project. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and put the paper here. But I can't remember which I wanted because this is going to be probably glued down. So we really don't even need this extra piece. So I think I'm going to let that one go and put this here, but I have not inked it yet. That's going to go on there, and that you're not even going to see all that writing, which is epic. But you do have to think about that before you start to make sure that you've got everything that you need to cover that and disguise that so that it doesn't show. There we go. I'm going to put that on there, and I'm just going to make sure that it's going to clear that without affecting that fold. And it's got enough room here. I'm not going to put any, thought about putting a little signature in it, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to let it be a little folio. Just really simple, easy. And then again, we still have our openings here at the top. So we'll be able to put journal cards and stuff in there. Don't have to worry about, you know what, probably what I need to do is put a little bit of glue in there because otherwise that's just going to move and be in the way. So I'm going to go ahead and try to get a little bit of glue in here. It's tricky to get, in fact, I don't even think I need to get all the way down. I'm just going to go up here and then just go ahead and press that and just kind of at least secure it where I can. Like that. There we go. And we've got some little bits of overhang here, which I've been having trouble with these scissors because I think they're too sticky. so they don't want to work right. Let's see if we can trim that, sort of. Oh goodness. Okay, so that is that. So we can go ahead and cover. That's wasn't cleared, so I need to refold this edge because it's going to be a problem. So there we go. Okay, so that's now clearing a little bit better. I'm not great at this, clearly. So let's go ahead and I think I'll use this here because I love that, bringing in that little bit of those leaves. But we're a little bit long. Why are we long? I'm gonna trim that off a little bit, just a smidge. Go ahead and ink this up. Whoops. We can trim it off if it's too wide. I mean, too long. That's the way I do it. Like, again, if you guys like to be more precise, definitely measure and do all that magical math stuff you like to do. But I don't, so I don't worry about it. Okay, so let's go ahead and put that on there. I'm going to leave a little bit of a gap so that we can fold that over without messing with those pages, those edges there. So when that's dry, we can ink that white bit. And that was not too terribly bad. I do need to trim this edge because obviously my measurements were completely off, or my estimations, which is okay. It's just a junk journal, you know, it's not like it's a big deal. So, and as I mentioned before, you know, if you're selling your journals, of course, you're probably going to be a little bit more cognizant than I am being. But I don't sell my journals and I give everything I make away. So I feel like it's not a big deal. So I'm just folding that so that I can get this inked in here. And there we go. And let's get this edge as well. Hopefully gonna be able to get my eyelet setter out here. Do as I say, not as I do. It's good to let these things dry before you start doing your folding and stuff. I've never had super disastrous results, so I'm going to move through, but it can make things a little bit more difficult. So, you know, and since I have this cut, I think I'm going to go ahead and put it on in case I want to have it be free floating, and that way I have that option. So I'm going to go ahead and ink this. There we go. So that's that and that's that. And let's ink this other edge, and we're going to put an eyelet on here. And then I think we'll put our top paper on. We'll grab a piece of Sari silk for this. So let me grab some. Wonder if this green would be a good complement. I think this would be really pretty. So let's just grab a bit of this. I always like to get more than I need. And so, oh, you know what? That's not what I was going to do. It doesn't have to be attached because we're going to use, oh, why is that open? We need to close that. We're not making that a pocket, so let's just get that closed up. I think originally I thought about doing it as a pocket, but we don't need it. So, there we go. Boy, this is just rough all over here. Oh my goodness. Got some pieces hanging over. Just appeared from nowhere. There we go. There we go. So that is beautiful. So super easy. It doesn't have to be complicated, you guys. So we need to let that dry a little bit, and then we're going to put an eyelet there. So let me grab my eyelet setter. Oh, did we lose some paper there? We did. I probably rubbed that. Goodness gracious. Okay, let's go ahead and put the back on while we're waiting. Because if I change my mind, then it's here and we can just go with it. I think I'll go ahead and just do the tags and the journal cards, which is just basically inking them and sticking them in the pockets. I think I'll do that off camera, and you can see that in the photos at the end of the video, because we're getting a little bit long-winded here. I'm going to keep it too long. So that is that. Okay. We will do the eyelet though before we go. Was it the same? I think it's the same measurement no matter which way. Okay. Just going to rub that, make sure there's no excess glue. There we go. What a sweet little bit here. Let me grab the eyelet setter, you guys. Okay, so yep, that's what we're gonna do. Let me grab a eyelet here. Actually, I think I'm going to go for the bigger eyelet. I used my large crocodile. You'd be so proud of me. I used it for a school project. We were making these little visuals for our students, and so I had to figure this baby out, so I did. So let's go ahead and use her. So I'm going to go ahead and get this in here and try to get it even. So I always have to turn this like this because it's a bear. See where that's going to touch down? That looks to be good. So I'm just looking from side to side, seeing if I'm even. I had the mark on the paper itself, but on the paper bag, but I didn't transfer that marking. So I'm not concerned again about it being perfectly lined up. So let's get our little eyelet in here. And we're going to switch that over, and I think we're already set for the bigger one. So I'm going to just go ahead and squeeze like that. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Beautiful. So now, these always, like things I've told you guys before, things that get that turn and flip and do strange things, I have to think about how this goes in here. How does it go in here? Give me a second. Okay, I'm just going to give it my best shot here, guys. No idea what I'm doing. Trying to poke that in there. There we go. The paper's a little soft because the glue is wet, which is, again, so is this how it works? I don't have any idea how this is supposed to go. Oh my gosh, I'm so embarrassed. Why isn't it moving? There we go. So then I think, now that it's in there, it can just tie like that. That was probably not exactly the way they're intended to work, but that's what we're gonna do because I was not prepared for this. There we go. So we have a nice little bow, and I'll probably put a charm or something on there. But that is our little folio, little paper bag folio. So our two pieces are the paper bag. I'll probably do a little bit of clusters on here, and then this is our little pocket from that packaging. And thanks, guys. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.